Welcome to Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and today we're gonna do the final video and recap of the analyzing packets chapter in the ethical hacking book series. Enjoy. All right, so this is the final chapter in this. The final video in this chapter. I'm gonna do some stuff, and then I'm gonna do the recap. So let's just go ahead and start. All right, so analyzing packets collected by your firewall. Now that you've seen how a hacker uses Wireshark, let's change tracks. This section discusses using Wireshark to determine if your network is being hacked. I'll show you how to capture and analyze traffic collected by your pfSense firewall using Wireshark and TCP dump, a command line tool that allows you to save captured packets to a file. An easy way to do this is to save all the packets associated with port 80 that pass through the firewall. Port 80 is almost always used for HTTP communications, whereas port 443 is commonly used for encrypted HTTPS traffic. If you're interested in viewing web traffic, start with these two ports. For simplicity, I'll focus on unencrypted HTTP traffic here. In Chapter 6, you'll learn how to decrypt encrypted traffic by obtaining the encryption key from the victim's machine. Now that's going to be cool. Capturing traffic on port 80. Boot up the Kali Linux machine and navigate to http virginia.edu. Because all traffic on your network passes through the pfSense firewall, you can use the TCP dump command on the pfSense machine to capture the TCP packets from the Kali Linux machine. Now start pfSense. You should see a screen that looks like this. Start the show option by entering 8. Alright, let's do that. So all my stuff is running still, so this is what I'm looking at. The WAN, LAN, this, and then the options. So WAN, LAN, and then all my options. So it wants me to. So hold on. Before we do that, it says boot up the Kali Linux machine and navigate to this. So let's do that first. Alright, it's froze, so I'm going to have to restart this. I'm going to have to restart this. Gosh. Everything can't just run smoothly, can it? Alright, now we get to that. Huh. That's... Alright, let's just try to restart this. VM up. And then get it going. In the meantime, we'll read. So it says enter the option 8 to create a shell. Now remember, this pfSense is my firewall in my network, and it's acting as like a firewall, like from the victims. This is the victim's firewall, right? Next, enter TCP dump in the shell. The program will run without options and capture all packets going through the system's interfaces, and will continue to run until you terminate it by pressing Control C. Here's a sample. So it's going to give us an example. It's going to explain some stuff, and we're going to look at it. So let's go ahead and my machine's still loading. Let's it starts loading. All right, let's see. Okay, Kelly. Let's get in here. cs.virginia.edu. Let's go on here. All right, so now everything's going to the pfSense firewall, so this should show up, right? Going to this website. Now we'll close that. It says run that. You can use a TCP dump command on your pfSense machine. All right, now let's do a shell on the pfSense firewall. Put 8 root home. Now it opened up a shell. Now we're gonna type in, yep, that's what it looks like. Okay, now enter TCP dump in the shell. So TCP dump. It's listening on EMO. So that's what it looked like. That's what we're getting. And let's press Control C to stop it. And then I wish I could scroll and look at these packets. This is, I don't know how to do that. Anyways, okay, notice that the traffic is organized into lines. Let's analyze one of them to understand what's being printed. The 151844.3 something is a timestamp indicating when the traffic was captured. And that is number 1. So that would be that line number 1, which it would be, if I can scroll, how the hell are you supposed to see this if you can't even scroll? That's ridiculous. I said 37 packets captured, and I can't even see them all. Is it because this is not full screen? Well, I guess. Alright, that's ridiculous. Let me see if that's the right one. pfSense. All right. Okay. IP identifies the protocol of the packet, and the 192, the IP address here, indicates the source's combined IP address and port number. The port number alone is 41193. Next, aaron.net.domain.5 something represents the destination's IP. To make the trace more readable, TCP/dump converts this IP address and associated domain names. You can also display this by adding adding the -n flag to the command. Okay, TCP/dump converts this IP address to its associated domain name. You can disable this by adding that -n flag to the command. Everything else is specific information pertaining to the packet. As in Wireshark, you can capture packets from some specific protocols by passing the protocol as an argument to TCP/dump. You can also listen to the packets from a certain port by specifying the port's number. For example, to capture TCP packets on port 443, run this command in pfSense. So nothing's gonna, well, yeah, and that'll take away the domain name, and it'll only look at the ports 443. We don't need to do that. I mean, we can. TCP dump, TCP port. I guess we should practice using TCP dump 443-N. Okay. Yeah, so that's picking up port 443. All right. If you don't see any packets, try refreshing your web browser in Kali Linux. Instead of displaying packets in the terminal, you can also write them to a file you can analyze in Wireshark. TCP dump -I interface. The -I option represents the interface in which you would like to capture packets. You capture packets on the EMO interface. In the previous example, you can get a list of all interfaces on the device by selecting the shell option and start screen and running the ifconfig command. The S flag represents the number of packets to capture, and the W flag signifies the name of the file where the data will be stored once you've collected the data. You can view the file in Wireshark. Analyzing these traces can often be very tedious. Online tools like packettotal.com will analyze a PCAP file for you and flag suspicious activities. Okay, let's see. If you don't see any packets, try refreshing your browser. Instead of displaying the packets in the terminal, you can also write them to a file that you can then analyze in Wireshark. How are we gonna do that? Drop that on a USB, yeah. Or how do we do that? If we drop that on a USB, so I'm assuming we're doing this from the firewall. Where is that? I'm curious to see where this file is gonna go. Let's try that. Because I'm curious. TCP dump -I, and then we'll write the interface, and the interface is EMO, EM0. And then number of packets. Let's do 50 packets. And then minus W, which is did I put the minus S? Okay, EMO minus S 50. Yeah, that's what that is. And then minus W, and we'll call it test dot pcat. And that's a pcat file. Let's see where that goes. And we'll go back to our box, and we'll refresh this, and then we'll go to our pfSense.
Getting the sixth sense from Netflix.
Computer, cancel. All right, then we'll wonder where that worked. Packets captured, 3,418 packets received by filter, 0 packets dropped. Now, where the heck did that file go? I'm still on that shell, right? ARP request. Somebody's hacking me. No. Just kidding. Who has? That's awesome. So this TCP dump is saying who has this, and then it's basically trying to communicate the website, I guess. And then it's saying who has this, so it's assigning the ARP table. This is your ARP table. Google domain 15 packets. Wonder if that worked and where the test S EMO. Let's do a it's an IP, it's IF config. Huh. EM1, that's right. It's the EM1. Let's see if what that does. Let's refresh this. Okay, let's go back and see what the book says. Data in the data. You can view the file in Wireshark. Analyze these traces can often. Well, I mean, I can view that in Wireshark. Yeah, that makes sense. But how do I? If it's on my firewall, how do I get it from a firewall to my Where's the options? Oh yeah, there it is. There's the file test pcap. Um, so most likely you can um, open this and then save it to a USB, or you can use a reverse shell or I mean, not a reverse shell, file transfer from your Kali Linux box. But we're not going to do that. Um, there's the file right there, so I'm not going to worry about reading that in Wireshark. That's going to waste a lot of time. But you get the gist. Look, it created the file, and then you can take that file and you can open it, look at it on Wireshark off your virtual machine. It made it a PCAP file. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that because I really don't know how. I mean, I probably would just do a file transfer from here to my Kali Linux, but I'm not going to do all that. I mean, it's going to take too long. So, but that's basically that, okay? And that's showing you can download a file to look at instead of using the PCAP. I mean, using the packets. The exercises. Try these exercises to deepen your understanding of Wireshark and pfSense. In the first exercise, you'll learn how you'll log into pfSense through a web interface and explore its features. The second exercise, you'll use Wireshark to analyze packets from an ARP spoofing attack. So we're not going to do this one. This one, if you guys, like I said, you guys want to do it, you can do it on your own. Pause the video and you can get the website to the GitHub. You already should have the GitHub address already. But we are gonna do a little bit of the first one. Okay, so pfSense in Kali Linux browser, log into your pfSense, entering the router's IP address in the URL bar. You'll see a security warning saying that the security certificate is not valid. Select the option to add an exception. The pfSense firewall uses a self-signed certificate. I'll discuss these certificates in Chapter 6. Next, log in using the default username, admin, and password pfSense. Once you're logged in, change the default password as shown. So change the default password. Now you'll view real-time statistics on packets flowing through the firewall. Click Status and select Dashboard from the drop-down menu. You can view a global snapshot of the system from the dashboard. You can also add and remove panels from the dashboard. For example, click the plus icon and select Traffic Graphs and add real-time graphs. And there's my graph. So, now exploring packets in Wireshark. Download the Wireshark capture of your ARP spoofing attack from the GitHub's website, right? So this ARP PCAP files you can get on their website, and you can download an ARP spoofing attack that they did, and you can open it in Wireshark, and then you're going to look at all the MAC addresses, and you're going to do whatever they ask you to try to figure out. This is awesome. Okay, this is what we used to do in school. Is this type of stuff. So, and we literally used to do it from books like this. So, our assignment would be to do the exercises at the end of the chapter, read the chapter, do the chapter, and do the exercises. And I want you to tell me, and then they would have questions, just like this, and be like, well, they have extra questions, and they make you write a paragraph about it and all kinds of stuff. So this is what we did in school, this type of stuff. This is awesome. So I recommend doing this. Okay, this is easy, and then you build a pyramid by one stone at a time. Okay, so this may seem stupid or something like, I don't want to waste my time with that, but it's not. Spend time doing this, and then you'll and maybe and you'll get some experience and know why you're doing that. We're not going to do that because this is just basically analyzing the Wireshark. Right, that's going to go a little too far for this video. We already have a taste of what Wireshark can do. We know how to get it to work. We know how it works, for the most part. That's all we need to know. Okay. But we are going to look at this firewall because I'm sure we're going to have to be doing this later, setting up our firewall. And I want to get a little look at it right now. So we're going to do this. So we're going to go into the pfSense firewall, right? So let's look at this. I did an IP config and RIF config and I can't remember what the number is right here. Where is it at? I don't know if it's going to show on here, but we already know this guy's. We already know how to get this guy's routing number, right? IP. So we're going to close this. We're going to open this up. We're going to do net discover. Just for shits and giggles, right? And it's got them. Okay, so remember the one with the lowest is usually your firewall. So the IP address with the lowest designation or numbers is usually your firewall. That's what the book said. So this is our firewall IP. So we're gonna cancel this, and we're gonna take this, copy, close that, and then we're gonna follow the rest of the book. And I got 3 more minutes, but this video is gonna go a little over 30 minutes because I still got to do the recap once we're done with this chapter. So, but I think this is very important to do. So we're gonna log into this. So if you're in cybersecurity, you already know how IP addresses work and stuff like that, right? But if you don't know, this is a server that's online. This pfSense firewall, right? Or yeah. So what we're gonna do is, well, it's not. I don't know if it's connected through the port 80, right? Right, I guess. So we're gonna just type in the IP of it, and press enter, and it's gonna say that, warning, this potential security risk ahead. Go to advanced and say accept. So now I'm in the pfSense firewall that I have, the virtual one, right? I'm virtually in my virtual firewall, which is funny. But this is how you would communicate, like if you're with your router, right? On when I want to get on my router to make some changes or something like that for my like CenturyLink router or whatever router I have, you're gonna do it like this too, right? So you're gonna get on through port 80 HTTP. Well, actually, this is HTTPS. It's secure. Okay, so this one is port 443. And then you enter in your. So I'm gonna log in now. So it said use the login username admin, and then pfSense is my password. I'm gonna save it. See, look, welcome to pfSense. Now I'm logged in, and it said change the password. So we're gonna change the password. We're gonna change it to. Well, why did it say do that? Because I don't really care about the password. Once you're logged in, change the default password as shown in figure 313. Now you'll view. Oh, because you can't view the real-time stuff until you change it. So we're gonna change it to. All right, the video is gonna end and then it's gonna start again. So Um, we're gonna change it to something. So I'm gonna let the video end and then we'll pick up. Let's change it to. All right, I'm back. So I um, basically entered in a fake password. So you guys just enter in your fake password, and then now we're into the firewall. So I'm not going to do anything with this firewall, not yet. But I just wanted to show you how to log into it, and you're gonna have to set up your fake password, and you can even leave it as admin. Just put admin1. I don't know, but I changed mine. Um, I'm not going to tell you what it is because you don't need to know. You can just make one up when you're doing yours. And um, yeah, so here it is. And I guess you can go to the dashboard. Or here's the dashboard, yeah. So status, interfaces, there's your services, VPN, status. That's the same one, I guess. So here, yeah. So there it is. Okay. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to go in and be able to log in and look at it. So this one says click on status dashboard. You can view the global snapshots. So status, select dashboard from the drop down menu. So let's go to here, go to status dashboard. Um, CPU usage, memory, disabled. Here's your interfaces. All right. No big deal. Just play with it, have fun. You can add or remove panels from your dashboard by selecting, click the plus icon, traffic graphs. So we'll go there, hit the plus icon, we'll put traffic graphs. And then I got some traffic graphs right here going in and out. So just mess with it, right? Go here and look at gateways, right? And there's my gateway, right? And it's usually that's what it is, online. So have fun with that. Just mess with it, and that's something that I think is valuable. And then run the exercise, and that's it. So now we're on chapter 4: crafting TCP shells and botnets. The cause is hidden, the effect is visible to all. Ovid. So this one looks like it's going to be very, very interesting. I would watch this next video. Let's look to see how many chapters we got. Just curious. Just curious. So we've got 16 chapters. I would say 15. So we're not even halfway through. And but I mean, it's fine. This is an entire book. So when you get through this entire book, I know I'm going to feel good about myself. I would have learned a lot from this book. So we're still on this. So yeah, no, we're done. We're on to chapter 4. Okay, let's do the recap. So, how would I recap this chapter and what we learned? So let's go back to the start. This was such a great chapter, like for knowledge, and I like the way they taught it. They didn't teach it too confusing. If you were learning it for the first time, I mean, might be alright, might not be, but you got to start from the bone bristle. You got to start from the start whenever you're learning something new. And this assumes that you know most of these terminologies, right? So the whole point of this was to get you educated a little bit on how packets travel um, using protocols and how they're, um, the three-way handshake. And I'm sure it said something about three-way handshake in here. I do remember reading it. So the three-way handshake, or the SYN handshake, or whatever. I call it three-way handshake, or either one. It doesn't matter. Works like this, where if you're a person, you have to send an hey, send some kind of greeting, or hey, what's up, hello Bob, is exactly why they have this. And then Bob goes, what's up Alice, and then they have a message in between or whatnot, and then so they're acknowledging each other, right? And sure, it said something about the three-way handshake in here somewhere, I don't know, but it also gives you knowledge on how um, how the packets are sent, right? They're sent in pieces and they're added, and so the data is one of your pieces, right? That you're sending. Then they add headers, and you know they add headers and footers to your data, right? So they need to know where it's coming from, obviously, just like a letter. You need to know where it's going. You need to know what port it's on, and they're correlating ports with something on a letter, but there's no damn correlation to that. It's a port. It could be like, like where it's from, right? I guess. But this one says it's from Virginia too, so this one says it's from Firefox. So yeah, that's basically what that could be, right? But I always thought that was the MAC address that said it was from this guy or something, but you never know. Anyways, um, this has a port. Port number is man, it's the worst from, I guess. Then your destination port is where it's going. Okay, that makes sense. So it wants to know to who it's going, and then where. Okay. Huh. Anyways, so then your data is attached to all that, because you got to know how to get somewhere, right? That makes sense. And then this shows um, how a hacker. They always show how like a hacker uses ports to gain entry in systems. So these ports, 443 is like HTTPS, uses how it gets in, and a hacker could just use write in on that port if it's open to your system, right? Um, the 5-layer stack tells you how everything works in the layers, right? Now there's another uh not stack, but let me see what it's called again. My brain is, like I said, I'm on this new medication. Um and it's jacking my brain up. Why is that? I'm sure it's the ISO. Wait, protocols, XML, session transfer. Yeah, it's the OSI layer. Why did I say ISO? Anyways, yeah, it's the OSI layer. And so this is the OSI layer, right? And there's your application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link. And this is all the stuff that it's talking about. But it's talking about um, the 5-layer internet protocol stack, okay, which is basically I'd say it's the same thing. Where's my thing at? But it's this is how you teach. They use this to teach um, this. and more easily, I guess. I don't know. So they're not using the presentation layer in this, right? Or the session, because this is just the internet, what the internet uses, right? I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but yeah, they're using a different. They're using the 5 layer stack. Okay, it's the same thing as ISO protocol, except it's missing some layers in there. Um, how you guys already know about this 7 layers of the OSI model, right? You're gonna have to know this if you're in cybersecurity. You're gonna have to memorize this. The way I memorize it is I use an acronym. So I use please do not throw sausage pizza away. That's how I remember that. And it's physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, application. And this basically tells you what is used in each of these layers. Okay, and that's basically what this is. Except I think this is focused more on the internet side. Encapsulation. So this is just the 5 layer internet protocol stack. Okay. Um, this shows you how TCP and UDP headers are used and in what layer. So the data is on the application layer, and it's when you're going from your browser to the web server back, right? And the TCP UDP headers are attached or whatever in the transport layer when it's um, in the transport layer. Okay, and it's going from operating system to operating system. IP headers and TCP layers, so it's adding another layer to your information. And this is added in the network layer. Your IP headers is added in your network layer when it's going from router to router. And then your MAC headers are added in your data link layer when it's going from NIC to NIC to see who's who. And in the physical layer, it's sending your binary numbers, which this is a little deep. If you don't know what binary numbers are and all that, it's going to confuse you. But my advice would be when you see something like this and it says those are binary numbers, look that up. I only know about this because I went to school for electrical uh, first, and I had to design small circuits, and I had to learn digital binary code, and this is used everywhere. This right here, binary code, is the I would say the brain or the means of communicating through everything. There would not be no internet. There would not be no computers without ones and zeros, and all that is on and off. So one is on, zero is off. So what you're doing is how all and see you have to Google that and you have to learn that, okay? And that's how and if you start from there, then then you'll understand more about all this other stuff, because without this there's none of this. There's nothing. And then you've got like um AND gates, NAND gates, OR gates, and these are just little chips that convert those signals into information, right? They they do they make it talk, or they give it a logic, right? So I mean it's kind of complex, but this is where it starts right here. So on and off. So this one's saying off off on off off on off, and then that all means something. Like that means A or something, you have to look up binary code. Anyways, so and this explained what each layer does in the 5 layer protocol stack. So this is focusing on the protocol stack. Okay, but the 7-layer OSI model is how they teach you how all it works as well. And we also learned how to view packets in Wireshark. So you learn how to pull up Wireshark different ways, install it. You learn how to run a basic packet capture. Um, you learned how it's working when we're using Wireshark. Wireshark basically intercepts um, by uh, talking and communicating to the NIC, right? And intercepting packets, or tricking it to thinking that it's, I don't know, but you got to reread that. And then we looked at some packets that explained what each section of this was, which is very important. And you could do more with Wireshark. You just got to get a Wireshark book and then start doing those practices little by little. But since you already have this environment, you can do it off of this environment. You learn how to filter in Wireshark. Just look at certain things because you're going to get a ton of packets. That's more filtering right there. We did some troubleshooting with. Oh, we actually did some looking at the TCP stream, which you'll do more of that later if you get a book or whatever. We analyzed packets collected by our firewall with TCP dump. Even though I couldn't see it that good, I'm not going to mess around with that pfSense because I got a feeling we're not going to have to. I'm not going to use pfSense in the real world, and I can Google how to scroll and look at the. I could watch a video or something, on YouTube real quick, or Google it on how to scroll and look at my packets on my pfSense easier. I could do that next time. I could do that on my free time, and then I'll, that's the only thing that I didn't like about it is I couldn't really see, scroll to see my packets that I captured, right? But I did capture them. Okay, so we did capture them. All this worked. We did a shell on it, and we captured the packets. We learned about what they do, and we downloaded this file. We created and downloaded this file with this command, and I don't want to, open it up, look at it, or I'm sure the information's there. I don't want to figure out how to get that from my pfSense firewall to my Kali Linux box to look at it. I'm sure I can just use a file transfer protocol on that. I don't want to. I'm going to have to Google it real quick, and it'd take 5 minutes. So what I would do is I would just Google it and say, how do I transfer a PCAP file from my pfSense to Wireshark or my Kali Linux box, and it'll give you step-by-step guidance. I'm sure it's you can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, you can open up a reverse shell, I think, and do a file transfer. There's many things you can do to get that file. You could literally probably just download it onto a USB and then open it up in your VM like that. I don't know what the many ways to do that is, but you could do that for yourself, and you can Google that. It's not necessary. I don't care about it. We're gonna open the file in there and go, woo, nice, we can read this. And I was already looking at packets on Wireshark anyways, and I kind of explained how the three-way handshake and then all these other stuff. So this is something you can do on your own, like for an exercise on your own. Figure out. That's what I would do if I was you. Figure out how to, because I don't want to do it. Okay, so exercises. We didn't do any of the exercises other than this one. We actually opened up the pfSense firewall from my Kali Linux box by going online and doing it using the URL. And you learn that, right? And you got on here, and you can now. I would recommend you go in and check everything on your firewall and see what you can look at. Mess with it, look up stuff, see if it's picking it up. Your firewall should be capturing all that. That's very cool. And exploring packets in Wireshark. We're not going to do this. You can do this on your own. So you can pause the video right now, get this GitHub address. Art Packets is free. You just get on there and you follow this, and you can open up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna download that PCAP file from your Kali Linux box. Okay, you're gonna download that PCAP file on your Kali Linux box. I already showed you. Everybody knows how to do that. I showed you how to do that. And then you open that in Wireshark. So you're probably gonna go to Wireshark and open that. Google how to open a PCAP file in Wireshark, and it'll tell you. It's easy. Okay, it's not hard. Google or watch a video on YouTube. Um, this is gonna be something I'm not gonna do because I mean it doesn't. I'm gonna open that and then I'm not gonna really do anything with it. But all this stuff we did already. We looked at some packets on Wireshark. This is all this wants you to do is wants you to figure out how to open that file in Wireshark, right? And it doesn't tell you how to, but you're gonna have to research. I mean, but that's not hard to do. Okay, by this far in the book, everybody should know how to do all that, right? Especially if you're getting into cybersecurity, you should be able to figure that out quick. Just Google how to open a PCAP file in Wireshark, and then the other one would be how to get a, how to get a PCAP file from your PF Sense to firewall PCAP file, I said, from your PFSense firewall to your Kali Linux box. So these are questions that you're asking on Google or you're asking in YouTube, and then you're getting answers. And that's the fun part of this. That's stuff you do on your own. Okay, my channel is to troubleshoot through stuff that maybe we didn't you know uh, do during the chapter, right? And so this stuff is just we've already done it. You're basically the ultimate goal ending of this is you're going to be looking at PCAP files. That's it. So we already did that. So we learned that it works. These are just exercises. Like I said, I'm not going to do exercises. So we'll go on to the next chapter, crafting TCP shells and botnets. Now, this chapter was fun for me, and it's probably fun for to listen to or to try to do yourself, but it's kind of dry. So it's kind of I want to hurry up and get past it. It's kind of like, all right, we're not really hacking in anything. This is more brushing you up on your protocols and your knowledge on how the packets are sent and how to analyze them, right? And it's very important. It's not the most exciting. Okay, so we're done. I'm glad it was fun. It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. Okay. Now we're moving on to this one, and I'm sure this one's going to be way funner, and this is going to be chapter 4. So I'm going to go through this. It's got some more binary stuff that we're going to learn, but I mean that's the whole part of the game. Now here's your SYN. Here's your three-way handshake. See, so it's going here, it's going here, it's going here. So that's where I saw that. Anyways, this is where it's going to go into your three-way handshake. So, all right, that was Hack the File. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.